Hey everybody, it's Dr. McClain. Today I want to talk about 6 steps to deep quality sleep. And if you want to be healthy, if you want to lose weight, you want to stay fit, you've got to have good quality sleep. And it's not just the amount of time that you're sleeping, it's getting that deep sleep. Because if you're not sleeping well, it raises stress hormones and it leads to all sorts of issues. So let me go through these steps with you that have helped me tremendously and helped a ton of our practice members. So number 1 is getting to bed at the right time. We have these what's called circadian rhythms, these waves of hormones essentially that go through our body at different cycles, different times. And if we can get to bed before 10:30, we can catch that first wave of that circadian rhythm. And maybe you've had this before where you're almost falling asleep, you're dozing off, but you don't go to bed right away. And maybe you go to bed an hour later, and then you go to lay down and you're just wide awake. And there's a good chance you missed that first cycle, and now you're waiting for the next wave. So getting to bed before 10:30, hopefully like 9:30, 10 o'clock, does make a big difference. Now, along with that, people a lot of times struggle with falling asleep. They lay down in bed and they just can't doze off, can't fall asleep. So this technique I learned recently, I just used the other night, and it just knocked me out. Totally natural. So what you're going to do is 2 steps to this. Number 1, you're going to slow down your breathing. So breathe at a count of 4. So inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. So just slowing down that breathing deactivates something in our brain called our amygdala. And so it bypasses that, takes us out a little bit of that stress response and helps relax our body. So slowing down your breathing, number 1. Now along with that is some vowels that you can say silently in your brain that stimulates again your brain to help relax. So the first one is sa. This is going to sound a little funny, but you're going to do this silently in your brain. So as you inhale, you're going to say sa. And then as you exhale, you're going to say om. And just say those silently in your brain. Again, you're going to be amazed how well this works. It just knocked me out the other night in literally like 30 seconds when I was struggling to fall asleep. Now, the second thing we want to talk about is sleep position, and this is crucial for many different reasons. So a couple things you do not want to sleep on your stomach. There's no way that your neck can be in a good position if you're laying on your stomach. So avoid stomach sleeping. Try to break that cycle if you're doing that. The second thing is lay on your right side if you're going to sleep on your side. And your heart's a little bit more left-centered in your body. Liver's on the right side, so a lot of people have a congested liver or liver issues. If we lay on that left side, it can compress the heart. It can affect our breathing and circulation. So if you're going to be on your side, the right side tends to be a little bit better. But the big key there is that you want to have your spine pretty straight. So if you're on your side, you want to have a straight spine. If you're on your back, you want to have your neck supported. And this is crucial. If your spine is not moving properly, if it's out of alignment, it moves us into what's called a sympathetic state versus a parasympathetic state. Even if you're not having back problems, your neck doesn't hurt, your back doesn't hurt, but if that spine's not moving properly, it raises what's called these stress hormones, and it can create all sorts of health issues, obviously. So if you haven't got your spine checked, I'd highly recommend get into our office, get a corrective assessment, a neurological assessment, and that will help you tremendously with your sleep. That's the most common things people report to us when they start receiving chiropractic care in our office, corrective specific care. They start to sleep better. So your sleep position is crucial. All right, so next step is turning off your Wi-Fi signal. And this is a simple thing because you're not using your Wi-Fi at night anyway. Turn it off. It can stimulate and affect something called our pineal gland, which is a gland basically in the middle of our brain that secretes melatonin, which helps us with our sleep. So if we can avoid that interference, that's going to help you sleep better as well. So turn off your Wi-Fi at night. All right, next is alcohol and caffeine. So if you're going to have alcohol and caffeine, you want to try to avoid those too close to bed for various different reasons. The stimulants, the depressants of alcohol can throw off our sleep. And a lot of times with alcohol, you'll fall asleep, but you don't get into a deep sleep. So you might sleep a longer time than you normally sleep, but you're not getting that deep quality sleep. Alcohol and caffeine block a hormone in our body called ADH, antidiuretic hormone, which causes us to urinate more. So you're more likely to wake up in the night to have to go to the bathroom, which is going to interrupt your sleep as well. So try to avoid caffeine and alcohol, or at least minimize it, especially if you're having trouble falling asleep. Now, by the way, some of these steps, you can do these things for a short period of time, get into a good sleep pattern, and then you're not going to have to focus on those anymore. So you might only need one of these steps, not all of them. Now, the other thing I want to touch on was the sleep medications. A lot of people have turned to taking sleep medications because they're having such a hard time sleeping. And if you watch the commercials from these drug companies, they make like just amazing, you take these medications, you're just going to sleep so well and not have any issues. But their research doesn't show that. The drug company's research does not show that. In fact, one particular drug that Merck was testing is now on the market. People were having such a drowsiness and having issues the next day that they had to halt the driving tests that they were doing testing this drug because they were afraid that people were going to have an accident. You know, it raises your suicidal and psychotic tendencies or thoughts that can be in your brain. It can create all sorts of issues. So the drug, they had to lower the dosage that they tested when they released it to the market, and the scientists themselves said, we don't think there's any effectiveness to this at that low of a dosage. So, but it does disrupt, it has all these different side effects. So I would highly recommend you try not to take those medications. If you're on those, try to figure out, work with your doctor, get off those things because they really don't get you good quality sleep. Now there are some natural supplements that you can do. And my view on supplements with sleep is that you can hopefully use these for a period of time to get into a good sleep pattern, and then you're not reliant on anything in terms of an outside source to get you fall asleep. But there's a couple different things. Melatonin, you probably heard of that one. I really haven't heard a lot of people over the years said they've got good results from melatonin. There's two particular ones that we do in our office one is called Gallbladder ND. Our gallbladder is on the sleep meridian. So this particular supplement can support that organ, and we've had great results. People that really were struggling to sleep, and that's the only thing they changed was started to take this supplement. Now, another one called Tranquinol. Now that's a good one if you don't have an issue falling asleep, but once you fall asleep, you tend to wake up throughout the night. So that supplement can really help you stay into a deeper sleep. So those are a couple that we recommend. If you have questions on those, please reach out to us. So in closing here, I'll tell you this, again, sleep is such a crucial thing to our health, and it's, to me, a really simple thing, not always easy, but pretty simple to start to correct. It's a lot easier than having to change your nutrition or get into a workout routine. We should still do those things. I'm not recommending that you don't. But sleep is just a great thing, and it's so important for our health, and a lot of people are suffering with that. So if you have questions for that, please reach out, message us on Facebook, call our office. We'll do anything that we can to help you. And again, if you haven't had your spine checked, you can click on the link below. We'll put a link here. You can check out our new patient special. Please come in. We'll see what we can do to help you. And if you have spinal issues, that has a direct impact on your hormones and the quality of your sleep. So that's number one where I'd start, because it's very, very simple and very, very easy. Have a great day.